Ever wonder what separates a good manager from a truly great one? Well, a lot of the time, it's knowing you don't have to lead the same way every single day. Today, we're going to open up the manager's toolkit and look at 4 essential leadership styles that can absolutely make or break a team's success. You know, it's a question pretty much every manager asks themselves at some point. Is there a single perfect way to lead? Some kind of magic formula that just works for every single situation? Well, the short answer is no, there really isn't. See, the most effective leaders, they don't just have one default style. It's much more like they carry a full toolkit, and their real genius is knowing exactly which tool to pull out for which job. Okay, so first up in the toolkit, let's grab the commander. This is our autocratic style, and yeah, just like the name suggests, it's all about decisive top-down action. With this style, the leader makes the call, period. Its superpower is pure speed. I mean, when time is everything, this approach is pretty much unbeatable. The trade-off, of course, is you're going to sacrifice that deep team involvement and group consensus. The best way to picture this is an ER surgeon in the middle of a procedure, right? There's absolutely no time to poll the room for opinions. A decision has to be made, and it has to be made now. So let's translate that to the office. Imagine a huge client deadline suddenly gets pulled forward by a week. Panic, right? Well, the commander doesn't call a group hug. They immediately jump in, assign very specific tasks, and set aggressive new timelines. And what's the result? The team pulls it off, and the crisis is averted, all thanks to that swift, clear direction. So what happens when the team doesn't agree? This leader, they'll acknowledge the input, they hear it, but to keep that critical momentum going, they make the final call. It's a calculated choice, prioritizing execution over consensus, just for that moment. All right, now let's put that tool down and pull out something completely different. If the commander is all about command, this next one is all about collaboration. Let's meet the collaborator, which is the democratic style. So this approach, it's pretty much the polar opposite. The leader's role totally shifts from being the decider to being the facilitator. The entire team gets to participate in making the decision. Now, yeah, it's slower for sure, but the payoff, it's huge for building trust, unlocking creativity, and making sure everyone is truly bought in to the final outcome. And seeing them side by side like this really just makes it all click, doesn't it? Look at the trade-offs. Autocratic is built for speed in a crisis. Democratic is your go-to for getting real buy-in on complex problems. One isn't better, they're just different tools for very different jobs. So let's imagine your team is just getting bogged down by a clunky, inefficient process. The democratic leader doesn't just dictate a new one from on high. Nope. Instead, they run a brainstorming session, they listen to everyone's pain points, and they guide the group to build a better solution together. And guess what? Because they all built it, they're all committed to making it work. So when this leader is faced with disagreement, their first instinct isn't to just make the final call. It's to actually structure the debate. They'll guide a real discussion on the pros and cons, and a lot of the time, they'll put the final decision to a vote. The group's consensus is what points the way forward. Okay, our next tool. This one isn't really for those day-to-day decisions. This one is for changing the game entirely. Let's talk about the visionary, the transformational leader. This style is all about the big picture. It's way less about managing tasks and way more about mobilizing hearts and minds. The leader's main job here is to inspire the team with a really powerful vision of the future, focusing everyone on long-term growth and breakthrough innovation. The classic example here, it's that startup founder, right? They aren't just managing a project plan, they are selling a dream. They're rallying a team to believe that together, they can build something that actually changes the world. Picture this. A company is making a huge, risky pivot into a brand new market. This is where the visionary just shines. They paint this exciting picture of what success is going to look like, and, this is crucial, they connect every single person's daily work directly to that grand mission. That's what empowers people to take the risks they need to take to get there. So when conflict pops up, and it always does, the visionary leader doesn't get bogged down in the small stuff. They lift everyone's gaze up to the horizon. That shared vision becomes the team's North Star, the compass that guides them through any disagreement or rough patch. All right, let's grab our final tool from the kit. This one is probably the most pragmatic and grounded of the bunch. It's less about inspiring vision and really all about clear structure and performance. Meet the coach, the transactional leader. Transactional leadership works on a really clear principle. cause and effect. It's a system of rewards for meeting goals and, well, corrective actions for falling short. The whole focus is on clarity, structure, and hitting those predefined results. The absolute perfect analogy is a sales manager. The targets are crystal clear. Hit your quarterly quota. The rewards are just as clear. You get your bonus. It's direct, it's transparent, and it is intensely results-driven. This style just thrives in places where you can easily measure performance. Success is defined by hitting, or even better, exceeding a very clear target. There's no gray area. Everybody knows exactly what's expected of them and what the score is at all times. So how does this leader handle disagreements? Simple. They point to the playbook. They take the emotion out of the conflict by just referring back to the established rules, the metrics, and the processes that everyone already agreed to from the very start. So there you have it. The commander, the collaborator, the visionary, and the coach. 4 very distinct tools for 4 very different situations. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that there is no single best style. A good leader might have a favorite tool they like to use, but a great leader has mastered the entire toolkit. They have that situational awareness to look at the team, the task, and the context, and then choose the most effective approach for that moment. And that really just leaves us with one final important question to think about. Based on what your team is facing right now, what tool do they really need from you today?